Omaha's news leader, chronicling the stories and people making a difference in our community. This is KETV Newswatch 7's Chronicle.
He taught us that the power of forgiveness is greater than the power of hate, and the differences of race and nationality matter less than our shared humanity.
I think he will be remembered as a humanitarian, as a fighter, as a visionary.
A moral giant who embodied the dignity and the courage and the hope and sought to bring about justice not only in South Africa, but I think to inspire millions around the world.
Nelson Mandela was more than one of the greatest leaders of our time. He was one of our greatest teachers.
Today marks the end of an extraordinary journey that began 95 years ago.
When Nelson Mandela died 5 years ago, the world mourned his passing and remembered his extraordinary life. In fact, his memorial service was one of the largest global gatherings in history, with nearly 100 heads of state attending. This morning on Chronicle, a local tie as we look back at his legacy, approaching what would have been his 100th birthday. Well, good morning, I'm Rob McCartney. Nelson Mandela was born on July 18, 1918, in a small village in South Africa. So much has changed over those 10 decades. South Africa is a completely different country thanks to his passion and perseverance. And this morning on Chronicle, we're taking a closer look at the former South African leader's influence. We'll talk with the head of the Nelson Mandela School in Omaha, an elementary school that's forging its own path, proving education is the most powerful weapon to change the world. And we'll tell you about a series of upcoming events here in the Metro designed to celebrate Mandela. First, a little history. In December of 2013, Nelson Mandela died at the age of 95. He'd battled a lung infection for months. Now, throughout his life, he was a fighter, a champion of peace and equality. Mandela worked tirelessly to end the racist rule of apartheid in South Africa, spent 27 years in prison before he was released in 1990. 4 years later, he became South Africa's first black president. And KETV Newswatch 7's Nicole Killian takes a look back at his transformation from political prisoner to president.
Mr. Nelson Mandela, a free man, taking his first steps.
For Nelson Mandela, it was a long walk to freedom.
I would like to be remembered not as anybody unique or special, but as part of a great team in this country that has struggled.
Struggle to end the racist rule of apartheid that cost him 27 years in prison. As the world's most famous political prisoner, his release in 1990 was celebrated not just in South Africa, but around the globe.
Thank you, sir.
Like here in the United States, he received a hero's welcome from President Bush and Congress. In 1994, the world rejoiced again when Mandela was elected South Africa's first black president.
I was an election observer in '94. To watch a man go from prisoner to president is probably the most awesome testimony we'll see in our lifetime.
Martin Luther King III was also there with his mother, the late Coretta Scott King, who saved a photo from that historic night.
The night that he won, because I was in South Africa, she was in South Africa. That speaks volumes to what was thought about what President Mandela represented.
Mandela's greatest achievement was indeed reconciliation.
Former U.S. Embassy staffer Steve McDonald met President Mandela on his first state visit.
He remembered my name. He cares about people. And that's not often something you can say about a head of state.
From the ordinary to the extraordinary.
Thank you, Madiba. Thank you.
The Nobel Prize winner befriended many American celebrities and politicians.
I think he recognizes his weight and his role in the world.
During a trip to Africa, President Obama reflected on Mandela's influence, calling him a personal hero.
His legacy is one that will linger on throughout the ages.
And beyond.
The outpouring of love and admiration for Nelson Mandela is not just because they recognized that once upon a time he was a great leader. The outpouring is because people say, if only we can have more of that.
from a man who gave more of himself. In Washington, Nicole Killian reporting.
And joining us now to talk more about Mandela's courage and how it's being carried out in Omaha are Dr. Susan Tuohy. She is head of school at Nelson Mandela Elementary, local artist Deb Bunting, and also scholar Janiyah Black, who goes to Mandela Elementary. Hi Janiyah, how you doing? Hey, Sue, I want to ask you, there's a bunch of events. We'll talk about the school a little bit, but there's a bunch of events coming up. Tell me about some of those.
Right. So his birthday would be July 18th.
Right.
So we're showing on Monday the 16th. And that night we'll have a free showing at Film Streams with Long Walk to Freedom, the documentary about his life. And that's open to adults. It's more of an adult format to have our community learn more about his legacy. And then on Tuesday, the Florence Branch Library is going to host a kid and parent night where the children will do storytelling and crafts and have a pajama party and eat pizza, while the parents learn more about Mandela through some of the works of literature that the library is hosting.
Why are you doing all this?
We think it's really important to take this very impactful man that our school is named for and celebrate all that he accomplished, not just for South Africa, but for the world, and then for education in particular, being a school that's important to us.
Gotcha. Well, we don't want to ignore the meerkat in the room, so to speak. And Deb, I mean, you helped this project. Tell me about this.
This is an incredible opportunity. With the meerkat being the mascot, it just became a natural for this to become a part of their art program. And it was a joy when I was contacted. I was very much excited because of having personally traveled to South Africa and studied the art of the Ndebele for maybe the last 25, 30 years. This was very exciting.
And that was Mandela's native, right? Native art, the Ndebele, his village. And
from the area that he came from,
right.
This was their traditional art form, yes.
So the designs, I assume, are relative to that. Can you tell me about those?
Well, the designs are very distinctive. They involve a lot of white space, but also it came from houses being painted in a very traditional manner. The women would paint the houses and the men would go away to work camps. So it was something that was handed down from generation to generation. Now in West Africa, a lot of things have symbolism. This is more about the design and the custom.
Oh, it's very bright, very artistic. And Janiyah, I understand that you were actually part of this as well, right?
Yes.
What'd you do? What'd you do on this?
I touched up the bottom.
And tell me a little bit about the statue. Do you ever look at it? What do you think about it?
It's very nice. I think the colors represent South Africa or the continent of Africa.
And you're what grade are you in now?
Third.
You're in third grade going into fourth. And so do you like doing art?
Yeah, I like doing art and being an artist and painting things and making new ideas.
Really?
Of things to draw.
What's your favorite thing to draw? Have you picked one out?
No.
That's a tough question. Everybody's trying to figure those out. Deb, what is it like working with students and Janiyah and everybody to get this project together, to get them to understand what you're doing and the symbolism behind it?
It's been an amazing experience. You'll soon meet her, but they have one of the best art teachers in Nebraska. And working with her was an honor, but also the school being open to the designs. I came in, I talked about it, and I lived down the street literally from this school. I watched them build it and develop it, and to be able to be part of that is very, very important.
And Susan, I mean, this isn't unusual for your school, is it? I mean, why do you do this?
We love having community input and working collaboratively with It Takes a Village.
Right.
I mean, going back to the South African idea of It Takes a Village to raise a child. And we believe that so many people have so many things to offer. And Deb has been wonderful to work with. She even brought back sand from South Africa to incorporate in the statues.
Yes.
And we have 10 of these meerkats.
Really?
So we'll be using them to decorate not only our space, but we are in the process of building an early childhood center, and we'll put some of them over there as well.
All decorated by the children and
all of
the
them
students
decorated by
and
the children, yep.
And so Deb, why'd you bring back the sand?
I brought back the sand. I started a tradition years ago of bringing back things and incorporating it into my artwork. And I brought back the sand because the trip was so cathartic and it was so personally meaningful for me. So, and I'd kept the sand, and I didn't know that all that time ago it was for the meerkats. So that will definitely be incorporated into the design to further tie South Africa to this wonderful community.
So what's it mean for you personally as an artist to have this tie-in with a school and the young people involved?
I cried the first day on my way home because it was such an amazing coming together. It represents, I used to tell my kids that our heritage was South African until our DNA ancestry didn't prove that, but that's okay.
That's okay.
I'm still a part of that culture.
Right. And Janiyah, you go to Nelson Mandela. What can you tell me about Nelson Mandela? It's not a test. There's no right or wrong answer. We're just curious.
It's a great school for kids to go to and have fun and play the violin. And the teachers are respectful and the scholars are good scholars. And we have spending time together. And all holidays that we have school. Sometimes we have parties. We have a lot of events like Pajama Jam Day.
Nice.
And it's really nice.
Do you ever talk about Nelson Mandela, the man, whom Nelson Mandela was? What do you know about him?
That he was an African, and he lived in South Africa, and that he was a president, and he died 5 years ago, and he was a civil rights leader.
Is it pretty important to remember him?
Yeah, it's important because our school is named after him.
That's true. Do a lot of your classmates, are they just like you, love to talk about art and do music and Nelson Mandela?
Yeah.
Good to know that. And so, Deb, I just want to ask you, I mean, the indigenous art form.
Yes.
Are you hoping that it connects with the students, that they take this beyond their time just at Nelson Mandela Elementary?
I'm really hoping that those connections will be made on a global, because we're all citizens of the world. Right. And it takes them out of just their immediate neighborhood and makes that connection that will last a lifetime. They'll remember this forever, and when they see these patterns and the hard lines, they'll make that association, which is very exciting.
It is. All right, Deb, thanks for being here this morning.
Thank you.
Sue and Janiyah, you got to stick around for the next segment, all right? We're gonna take a short break, and when we come back, we're gonna take a closer look at Nelson Mandela Elementary School.
It's neat because we're going to be a year-round school, so it's going to give students time to be learning over the summer, and then we're going to be very parent involved.
What makes it different from others in the Omaha Metro? You're watching KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle. You're watching KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle, and later this month, the world will mark what would have been Nelson Mandela's 100th birthday. His actions and leadership have had a profound effect around the world, even a school here in Omaha named after him. And it's not your ordinary elementary. In fact, last fall, it was the only school Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos visited during a quick trip to the state. And KETV News Watch 7's Sarah Feely was there.
DeVos spent the morning sitting in on classes here at Nelson Mandela Elementary, finding out what makes this school different.
Good morning, scholars.
Calling students scholars, another way teachers inspire students in these classrooms to succeed. U.S. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos kneels down next to kindergartners during their math class on her Rethink Schools tour. The approach to math, a unique learning style for the school.
That's the hard one, sort by shape.
DeVos and her team chose to tour Mandela because of the school's innovative approach to teaching, something they hope influences schools nationwide. Students here use phonetics to read, abstracts and pictures to do math. There's also this. Every student learns to play violin and has a recess every 90 minutes to refocus.
We definitely did our homework to make sure that we were doing things from around the world, not just here locally, that work for children, especially children who may come to school who don't have all the resources that other children would have at other school settings.
State Commissioner of Education Matt Blomstead toured with DeVos. He says the work Mandela is doing is shared with other schools to help improve learning statewide, adding each school is different and teaching is based on students' learning style.
Ensuring that we're not pushing down, top-down types of strategies is absolutely critical for us. That when we're left to be creative, we can do amazing things in Nebraska.
The data is showing us that things we're doing now are working. We're excited to see that trend continue.
In Omaha, Sarah Feely, KETV News Watch 7.
Joining me once again is Dr. Susan Tui, head of school at Nelson Mandela Elementary, and also art teacher Jessica Davis, and of course scholar Janiyah Black. Thanks again all for being here. So what makes Nelson Mandela different from all the other elementary schools?
What's really nice is that we're a small enough school that we can try different things and really look at the research and see what's working out there in other schools, and then put them all in one place and then really use our evaluation tools to make sure that they make sense And then if they do, keep doing them. And if they don't, tweak it and try something else.
Can you give me an example of what specifics?
Well, I'd say one of them is that we have recess every 90 minutes. That's one that is difficult for some teachers because traditionally people take away recess if a child misbehaves. And we have a rule that you cannot take away recess. You need to have recess every 90 minutes. We believe it's important for the children to get out there, get their exercise. It's a healthy body and also clears the brain. Gets them a little bit more ready for learning.
Where were you when I was going to elementary school?
That's what most adults tell me.
Just from a teacher standpoint, what is that for you? I mean, every 90 minutes you got a recess, you have a completely different mindset, it looks like.
Yeah, I really do think it allows the scholars to refocus. I teach violin and art, so violin is a very physical activity and so is art. So when they come in from recess, they've refocused, but they can handle their bodies in a I don't know, a higher way, I would say.
A lot of people may not realize when you say you teach violin, you teach everybody violin.
I do.
All the students have to take violin.
So I might be a little biased, but I think that's one of the most special things about Nelson Mandela, the String Sprouts program through the Omaha Conservatory of Music. So I work through the Omaha Conservatory of Music and I teach every single kid, and we have group classes and they all play violin.
Why violin?
Music engages the entire brain, and so it's one of the only activities I think that does really engage the entire brain. So I think for fine motor skills, for memory, for language development, for vocabulary development, it's all very, very important.
And Janai, I know earlier you said you liked art, you liked music. Do you like the violin?
Yeah, I like to play it.
Are you good?
Yep, I'm good.
Amazing.
She's amazing, of course she is. Do you want to keep playing the violin? Do you think it's important to play the violin? Or would you rather be doing something else?
I think it's important to play the violin, to learn more things, because usually other elementaries don't play violin. So it's kind of special, but
it's very special. I think it's tremendously special. What about having recess so many times during the day? Doesn't that bother you?
no.
You like it?
Yeah, I like to have recess.
Nice. Year-round school, Sue.
Right.
Some people might go, no, there's no way I would send my child to a year-round school. How do you convince them otherwise?
Well, one of the things that makes us special is we're also a Spalding school. So that's our reading program. It's a phonics-based approach to reading.
Right.
What we know is that there's a thing called summer slide. And when children aren't in school, they actually regress in what they remember, especially in reading and mathematics. So our goal, our mission is that every child will be on grade level for reading and math by the end of 3rd grade. We know that we can't accomplish that if they have very long breaks where their brain maybe isn't as engaged as it could be. We make it fun though. So we, in the morning, we are doing math and reading in the 5th term, we call it. And in the afternoon, it's all enrichment. So we take field trips to different places. We take golf lessons at Miller Park. We have a community garden, and that's our science lesson for the summer. We plant and we harvest. We take African culture connection, dancing and drumming. So we do all kinds of enrichment things. And so really, it's like going to camp every afternoon. So most of our families find it very special. They think it's a great place for their child to be in the summer. And they're getting academics in the morning that are really focused.
You do have breaks, though.
We do have breaks. We never have more than 10 days off.
Never more than 10 days off?
Never more than 10 days off.
How does a family schedule a vacation?
Those 10 days. You know, we post the calendar a year in advance so everybody knows what the schedules are. And they tend to align with other breaks. So this week was our week off for the scholars. We'll have 2 weeks off at the beginning of August. So people know that that's coming.
Okay. Jess, from a teacher standpoint, what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a great place for the kids to be. And for teachers, a lot of teachers have to find summer work. And so teachers they don't have to really think about that. And the curriculum can be very layered. So for this project specifically, we talked about symmetry, which is a huge part of Ndebele. And maybe if they had 4 months off or 3 months off, they would have forgotten that word. But in art, they had learned it a couple months ago, so they remembered that word. So it can be very layered in terms of learning new information.
And you fight also that summer slide, which I've heard about. What about parental involvement, Jess? I mean, you talk to a lot of parents. I assume you have great relationships, or you have to build those relationships.
I think I've built the relationships a lot through the music program because we have these huge concerts 4 times a year, and we get so many parents there. I think 98%. so the people come and they bring their grandparents and brothers and sisters. And so seeing the parents in that respect has been a pleasure.
Janiyah, what would you tell other children out there about your school? If you had to convince someone to go to your school, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that it's a great school, even though it's all year round, because it's like summer school, but you still get to learn and have fun. And we go on a lot of field trips. And like Dr. Tui said, we do golf, and we have a garden that we plant stuff in, and we cook, and we have electives. We have electives when you could do a lot of activities, and then we have an after school program that's fun, and we do field trips too, and the scholars are nice to new kids, and not even, if you're not new, they'll still be nice to you.
Sure. So what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a teacher or an artist.
Wow.
Good answer.
Jess, how about that, huh? Sitting right next to you. And so finally, I want to ask you, is there the payoff there as far as student achievement? Because that's what parents want to know.
Sure.
I send my kids there, I want to make sure that they're going to achieve.
Right. Well, educational researchers will tell you that you can't call it trend data if you don't have at least 5 years. So we're in year 3, but I can tell you that 78% of our third graders are on grade level for math, and that's huge. We're on the right path, and we have 2 more years with them, so we think we'll get them there in 5th grade. And then reading, same thing. We're seeing great growth. We're doing a lot of research and comparative studies with other schools that are similar to us, and we're seeing that it's working. And even just the anecdotal information is telling us that our kids are happy. We only had 4% attrition, so once our families find us, they stay with us. And when you ask about engagement, we do require our parents to give us 20 hours of engagement a year, but we make it fun, so they enjoy it.
Sue, Jess, Janiyah, thank you very much for being here today. And good luck.
You're
Well, we'll be right back. First, we have a reminder. Your comments are an important part of the show. For example, last week, Krista Malone emailed us after learning more about the current efforts to bring to the U.S. Iraqi and Afghan interpreters who work for the U.S. military. She said, we should absolutely honor our commitment to protect the people we serve side by side with and bring them to the country. Above others, these people risk their lives serving with our troops. I understand it's so very difficult to determine who will be a risk and who won't, but it seems that they have proven themselves. All right, if you want to be heard, email those comments to news@ketv.com. And remember, we love hearing from you. We'll be right back. Welcome back to KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle. You know, we've spent the past 30 minutes looking at the impact of freedom fighter Nelson Mandela. He died 5 years ago at the age of 95. His 100th birthday is coming up in just 10 days. So Omaha's Nelson Mandela School is sponsoring and hosting a variety of activities to make sure he's never forgotten. Now, we mentioned them earlier, but in case you missed it, Monday, July 16th at 7, Film Streams will present a free community screening of Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom. The movie's based on Mandela's autobiography. It details his quest for racial equality in South Africa. Tickets to the event are first come, first served. They need to be reserved in advance. Tuesday, July 17th from 6 to 8, Nelson Mandela Elementary is partnering with the Florence branch of the Omaha Public Library for Mandela Storytime. It'll be a celebration of his life through books. Children are encouraged to wear pajamas. Pizza will be provided. And then Saturday, July 21st, from 1 to 4, there will be a community-wide Mandela Fest in Miller Park. That's right across the street from the school. There'll be music, African dancing and drumming. There'll be food, face painting, bounce houses, and much more. All right, remember, if you missed any part of this show or you want to watch it again, it's online right now at ketv.com. Just go to our homepage, click on the menu button, and then look for Chronicle. I'm Rob McCartney. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here next Sunday morning for KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle.